Would there ever be a player that took a shower at halftime?
Absolutely not.
I
I used to think it was weird when guys would take their pads off. Some guys would take their pads off
Really?
halftime. I like my stuff snug.
Yeah.
You got the sweat.
Would you eat at halftime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always like pickles for the salt.
Okay.
So you retain water. They always have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Like, as
I love
Travis with the
Perfect
Uncrustables. Sometimes they'd have chicken broth if it was like a cold game.
Yeah.
They'd have every kind of like power bar or protein bar or meal supplement bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes when it's like a high play first half, guys are kind of drained, usually in the heat. Yeah, you got to take in calories, gives you a
Okay.
little more energy.
Okay. Cool.
Pre-game shower?
Oh, I shower like 5-6 times before a game because you wake up. I like to wake up, shower. I like hot water on my face. That helps me wake up. Then you hit the tubs, warm up, do another shower, and then like. You go do ball drills, this, that. I don't like the sweat, and then I'll do like another shower. I'm
Yeah.
a showerer.
Yeah.
I like 5-6 showers a day.
Also, day before the Super Bowl, you're not practicing, right? Like
No.
Friday's the last practice.
Day before Super Bowl is usually a mental sharpening day. So it's kind of like your walkthrough, your dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
Each team, they're at a hotel, so they'll probably clear out the ballroom. You have the whole hotel, and you'll go through the whole script. So you go through first and second down, all your first and second down plays. You'll go through all your third down plays. You go through all your red area plays. You go through your 2-point menu. You go through gotta have it plays just to get that mental rep.
Yeah.
So when it's game time, the more you know the material, the more you can be spontaneous with your play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when like instinctively things happen.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing you stole from another stadium?
Listen, is there statute of limitations? I mean, I'm not going to jail on your podcast.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Double jeopardy, bro. It's gone.
That's a good point. Yeah. It can't be tried twice. There's no way. Gosh, man, the best thing ever. Hey, so some of my favorite stuff that I have hanging now, we just moved down to Chepachet, Rhode Island. And in the move, I found some stuff that I had ganked from the Super Bowls. So, again, I was always the first guy off the field, right? It was like my goal to get to the bar as quickly as possible.
Bar Louie's, baby.
And I would rip down all these banners. I remember just jumping up and just running. Ting, 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 ting. Wadding it up. Throwing it. Ting, 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 ting. And I have all these really awesome banners from the Super Bowl eras. Like the ones that hang in the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we get to the hotel, I couldn't stop myself there either. They'd be like hanging off like a big atrium. And I'd find my way up in there and like, sing, 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 sing.
Can we just get it? What is your craziest prank that you did as a New England Patriot?
Okay, so I would say probably the best one that I did on a team, I mean, the best one I've done, period, was having some guys pulled off their private jet. That was one of the greatest of all time, man.
What do you mean?
I mean, and by the way, I did have a guy, and you can look this one up. I just did a full video on it. I had a guy kill a turkey, and he thought it was the world record albino Osceola. And Osceola is only found in Florida. It's a version of a turkey, right? It's a subspecies. And he went hunting with me. But what he actually killed was a broad-breasted white turkey that was farm-raised. And literally like in a double wide in some guy's backyard. And I just put it out in the woods. And he shot it. And he snuck up on it. I told him that if you squat down like a sumo wrestler and carry a fake turkey tail fan, that you can walk right up on him, which you cannot do that. But he did it. And he practiced it for a while. And it's one of the funniest things ever. I have it all on video. Like, by the way, I was right next to him when he shot it, but he had no idea I was in a full ghillie suit in a palmetto bush. Snake almost bit me. And when he sneaks up on it, I swear to God, when the turkey saw him, it was like, oh, thank God there's a human. I've been out here in the wild. Like, what the hell? Like, he came from, like, literally a guy's backyard. And so he shoots and misses him, and the bird, he was so fat he could barely walk. 44 pounds. Like, dude, that's twice as big as any bird. And he started walking my way. I'm like, this is how I die. Being a dumbass. Oh, God. This is how I die. And thank God he didn't shoot me. But anyway, my brother calls him as the head of Florida Game and Fish. I made up 200 copies of a magazine where he's on the cover, and he thought, like, I'm dead serious, dude. I put a lot of effort into this. A year later, he gets up on stage at the shootout where we sold the hunt to begin with, and I said, Jamie, you got to come up here and help me sell this thing, man. I'm like, it's going to go for big money. You just shot and so he gets up and he's talking about how he killed a Moby Dick of turkey. He's the Tom Brady of turkey hunt. I got it all on video. I had my guys there wearing Florida Game and Fish collared shirts that I had made up, because they were there to get content for their website because they were getting ready to launch it. They brought 200 advanced copies of the magazine. He's signing the magazines for people at the event. Like, you can't make this stuff up, right? He had it mounted, a farm-raised bird mounted. So up on stage, he's talking about all this stuff. I'm the Tom Brady of turkey hunting. I killed the Moby Dick of turkey. And then I said, well, you know what? We actually have this on film. Why don't we roll it? And in front of 500 people a year later, he finds out. It shows me getting the bird, and he's on stage like, are you serious? Like, all this realization. It's one of the greatest videos you'll ever watch, man. We laugh so hard.
So at halftime, what's the locker room like under head coach Joe
depends.
Mazzulla?
I think from as soon as that horn goes off, even during the first half, I'm constantly saying, okay, what did we do well? What didn't we do well? What hurt us? And you try to anticipate on what's going to happen in the second. And then when the horn goes off, it's about a 45-second to a minute walk to the back. You're kind of deciding about, like, all right, like, what does the team need right now in this moment? And then, what are we going to focus on? And so in that game, you're talking about you foul a 3-point shooter 3 times and you give them 9 potential points out of that you have to take that away. And so I think you're just constantly, but it changes, right? Sometimes you're in there and you show film. Sometimes you're in there and, like, you don't show any film. Sometimes it's like, okay, who does an individual player need something, or does the team need something? And so you're just constantly diagnosing what needs what at that moment, figuring out, like, okay, where do we need to be better that we can control? Where do we need to be better of the things that we sucked at? And then, try to get ready for the second half there.
Now, how long is the halftime?
It's 15 minutes. By the time you get back to the locker room, it's like 13:30. And then you got 3.5 minutes to look at the halftime edit to see what you want to show, and you try to show the halftime edit at like 10.
So do you have, because, like, whenever our halftime, it was clockwork. We would come in for halftime. It was 13 minutes or 12 minutes. Coaches would have 2 minutes together while we were undrain, like, let our emotions get down. And then we break up into O and D. Offensive coach would have his 4 keys that we're going into. Defensive coach would have his 4 keys. We'd have 2 minutes there. Then we'd have 2 minutes as a team. And then special teams would have 1 minute, or what, like, it was broken down. Like, you guys have a moment where, like, that, or it's different because you guys are so small.
Yeah, it's different. So I think you're in the back.
As far as roster size.
No, by the time we get to the team, it's probably 4 clips offense, 4 clips defense. Or if one side of the ball is just so much more drastically different impacting the game, you just focus on that. But it's like that in the staff of, like, the offense team will give their insight, the defense team will give their insight. The coach doing the halftime edit kind of puts in order of what's most important, and you're just so in that 3.5 minutes, you're kind of deciding, okay, what's the most important? Are both important, or are we focusing on one?
Being like, holy cow, like, I was right next to this guy. I was in the Breakfast Club with Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Coach McVay, and, like, some of the best football minds currently right now in the NFL, and, like, to hang it, like, to wear the jersey with him. I'm like, I think about, man, the Eagles game, his first game back, and we got to line up in formation next to each other and being like, yo, like, this is real. Like, Cooper Kupp's out here. I'm playing football with Cooper Kupp right now. And, like, what it felt like when I got called out before him, and then they call Cooper Kupp number 10. He has his song play, and the whole stadium's like, Coop, and being like, what? It's happening. Like, all through, like, training camp, OTAs, he got hurt during training camp my rookie year, and, like, he came back, and it was like everybody, you could feel, like, the leadership, and then also, like, the football player being like, he knows what's going on. It made it so fun.
Yeah. He's a pro. I remember him as a young buck. We used to work out together at Golden West.
Yeah, the hot spot.
I remember he was coming off an injury. I threw with Matthew a couple times.
Oh, man.
He could light it up. What do you got to do to get in this goddamn Breakfast Club? I mean, the cool name, you got McVay, you got Witt, you got Stafford, Kupp. That's it.
Yeah.
Exclusivity, Soho Home membership. How do you get in this thing?
Hopefully, I'm like, they didn't ask me for any membership fee. So. But shoot, you got to get up there early. I'm like, that's one of the things I was like, that helped. I was watching Kupp, and I changed my routine of like, man, during season, I'm normally in bed at least by 9:30. Like if not, like going to bed by 9:30, so I could wake up and be up at 5:30, 5:45, so I could get to the facility at 6 o'clock. And and I would be almost the last one there. They've already been there, like they're up watching, and they've probably gone through the last practice, and now we're about to start watching the explosive from all the other teams across the league. And I'm like, so I come in for the back half, and then we rerun the tape. Me and Coop would be like, all right, now we're gonna watch the receivers at the end while either Matthew's going to grab coffee, they're grabbing breakfast, and then like we kind of sit there, watch all the tape, and then be like, all right. I keep them updated on like the newest slang terms, because I'm like, those two guys, I'm like,
boomers.
One Coop probably never actually has gone on social media.
They're my age.
And then Matthew, I don't think he even knows he has an Instagram.
Dang.
He
Good
posted
squad, though.
April Fool's yesterday that he's all tatted up. Do you see that?
This
Matthew
is
Stafford has a full sleeve. That was the news yesterday.
that's
I did see
that's
that,
April
yeah.
Fool's
Yeah.
if I ever seen one.
Got him. That's a boom. That's such a dad joke right there. He is. Matt's cool.
What makes Sean McVay so special? He commands the room better than anyone I've ever been around, right? Like, comes in, his ability to communicate to people, get a message across is A1. I think it's, for any coach, if you're not a good communicator, you're going to make everyone's life miserable. And so for him, as from the very top, you're getting clear, concise communication that trickles down through everything.
When we had Witt on, he said he walked in on McVay watching game tape of himself giving speeches to the team, trying to break down his own stuff.
Why did he pause after he said he walked in on McVay?
Dramatic effect.
I was like, doing what?
Had to let it linger for a second.
Well, because I think that was a super important thing for him. He was my age when he was head coach of the LA Rams.
That's so weird to
right?
think
So
about.
Crazy.
As you're stepping in, you're my age going in. Like, I can understand being critical and wanting to learn from all this. This is your first time leading a team meeting. As players, we get an opportunity to watch ourselves and learn. And I think he wanted to learn and be the best that he could be for us. I think that's he takes that mentality. He is very critical of himself and wants to be. He doesn't want to let people down. And that's kind of his heart for people. And I think that's kind of what drives a lot of the things that he does.
I love that.
He like just outside looking in, and I mean I've gone to practices, but I'm not there. But you could just tell he's got just leadership qualities.
Mhm.
He's a leader of men.
Yep.
Knows that, and the communication thing is so important in this generation.
Mhm. Yeah.
It just what I mean.
Yep.
And he knows how to do it. He seems like he knows how to
Yes.
be a chameleon with each guy to make them get their best.
Yeah. Exactly. Find ways to motivate people and connect with them. I think he does a really good job of that.
It seemed like Coach was a little starstruck though with Belichick at
Wasn't
first.
starstruck.
I love Coach. We played against each other in college. Like I love Coach McVay. That's my dog. We
The Mac, baby.
Soho House. We've gone and got hammered together and stuff. But
He wasn't He wasn't starstruck.
little.
No, I don't think that's what it was.
He saw Darth Vader for the first time. He's like, oh my. Now, when did you guys come together? And like, did you guys like Herb?
To me, I always liked Herb. I had just lost my mother to cancer, and I was there. It was a stepping stone to try to make it to the National Hockey League. When Herb asked me to play in the World Championships in Leningrad, Moscow, I couldn't. If somebody showed me in the lineup, I wouldn't even know what he looked like. You know what I mean? It was just you just played. So, to me, he always had my best interests in heart, and working hard was just part of the deal.
Yeah. But what about the boys? Like when you guys are in the locker room and Coach ain't there, like when Belichick wasn't there, we're like, fuck this guy. This guy's making us run the goddamn hill. It's week 18. We got no knees. What's going on here?
Yeah, put money in the bank.
When did that camaraderie with the guys come together?
It was a strategy. It was his strategy.
Mhm.
If they don't like me, maybe they'll
like each other. Because you guys were all from different places.
Yeah. Some people coach, and they're not very good at preparing, but during the game, they're really good at adjusting. Very few are great at preparing and adjusting.
Yeah.
And when you get somebody like that, then it's really special. Like, let's see, you're wearing O'Callahan's jersey, right? Brooks would know when O'Callahan was going to do something stupid and pull him off the ice. You know what I mean? Because he knew he'd be so excited he was going to get a penalty.
Yeah.
So he had the ability, like, Jack, get off. You know what I mean? And he was that in tuned on intimidation of the referee, intimidation of the other player, so many of the other different things.
Wow. Who's the team prankster?
Davey Christian.
What is some of the shit he would do?
Well, Rob McClanahan was a perfectionist, right? And so, Christian Brothers made the sticks. Right? So Robbie would have 8 or 9 sticks taped up, and they'd be absolutely perfect. And right down by the blade, there'd be a little red little sticker or your plastic covering, right? So Davey would take that off, take a hacksaw, and saw it so it wouldn't quite break if you leaned on it. But if you went to shoot it, it would break, right? And so Robbie was so particular about his thing. So all of a sudden, Robbie goes out, goes to shoot, stick break, pissed off. And he goes, another one, pissed off. And then he finds out that Davey had done that. And so we're in Colorado Springs at the Broadmoor. And, our travels are tough. We got tons of game. And so all of a sudden, Brooks is coming in a little bit late. And Davey, Christian, and Pavlich find that the figure skaters have their tutus, right? And so Davey Christian gets in this tutu, right, with Pavlich, and Herb was talking about forechecking, right? So Davey cut a Christian Brother stick, taped it on, another one. So he had a stick that reached from about here to the corner, right? So he's out there, and Herb comes out, and he just couldn't do anything but laugh, but that's kind of who Davey was.
God, you need a little of that, though. Especially with that environment. We always had our guy, the Matt Lights of the world, that would do a fucking prank that all the boys could just laugh and, you guys are getting yelled at, you're sweating together, you're bleeding together. Man.
I did a prank on this one kid who would, come in our day, you'd break in your goalie or your skates. They were really hard to break in. So you'd put steam in them, and then you'd tie them up as tight as you could. And there was nothing more painful than what we call lace bite. You all of a sudden you tie your skate and you get lace bite. It's like, oh my God, it was so painful. So there's this one kid, Rory, and he was like helping the equipment manager. And he was a real fan, and I shouldn't have done this, but I did. He goes, Jimmy, is there anything I can do for you? I said, yeah. I go, Rory, I've got these new skates. I need a bucket of steam. He goes, well, where do I get that? I go, you ever see the Zamboni when they come out, all that steam that comes out? You go down there, you capture that steam, and you bring it back. So 3 hours later, he comes back and goes, I can't get your bucket of steam. I go, Rory, I know.
Oh, Rory.